Hello, Lawndale families. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Bridge to Better Behavior, addressing a very effective behavior strategy to target and increase work completion: negative reinforcement.
Negative reinforcement is probably one of the most misunderstood behavior strategies and often confused with punishment strategies. We would like to clarify this helpful strategy and hope it improves and increases work completion or other target behaviors at home.
Reinforcement is any objects or event that increases a desired behavior. So remember, we want to think about ways to increase desired behaviors.
Most often, we initially think and turn to positive reinforcement when addressing a problem behavior. Positive reinforcement is when a desired event or object is provided to someone to increase that desired behavior.
Negative reinforcement, on the other hand, is a behavior that increases when an undesirable event is removed, such as a tantrum leads to taking away homework or not visiting the dentist. Negative reinforcement is actually another great means, again, to increasing undesirable behavior. In this edition, we hope to provide efficient and effective means to using negative reinforcement to address and support anyone experiencing decreased work completion at home.
Here are some examples of negative reinforcement. We would like to propose using negative reinforcement to increase work completion. Teachers and parents often use negative reinforcement in their daily practice. One parent example is, you only need to eat your mushrooms on your plate and you can skip the lima beans. The parent is telling the child this in order to increase the consumption of vegetables by taking away part of the averse stimuli. And an example of a teacher speaking to a student, you only need to complete the even numbers on the math test. The teacher has increased the work completion by 50% by taking away part of the aversive stimuli and by adding an element of choice.
There are 4 functions of behavior that may account for the decrease in work completion. Number 1, access to attention. Number 2, access to tangibles, which are things that can be touched. Number 3, escape and avoidance. And number 4, self-stimulatory. So it's always important to know, why is this behavior occurring? And these are usually the top 4 reasons.
Work completion is a common problem parents and teachers target, and it can be difficult to treat if work completion has declined to low rates such as 0 to 10%. For this video, we are going to assume the functions are escape and attention for a child not completing their work. We will assume the child is not completing the work, is escaping because it is undesirable and they are trying to gain attention from their parent or teacher. By not completing the work, they have found an efficient means to escape the work and an efficient means to gain attention from their parents and teachers. The attention they may gain from adults may be of expressed concern and frustration that the child is not completing the work. But nonetheless, this is still an efficient means to gaining attention for the child. So our challenge as parents and teachers is to create an efficient and effective means to gaining escape from work and to gaining attention from adults in an effort to increase work completion.
Negative reinforcement system. Here is where you may want to use a behavior contract. These are listed on the resource slide and available in the resource folder for this presentation. The behavior contract will list the desired behavior, how often it is completed, and what consequence or reward they will earn. This is a new behavior and has not been reinforced as often as the escape of work. It will need a lot of support and reinforcement, and your system to building work completion would need to be shaped immediately, which means the time between the occurrence of work completion and the delivery of reinforcement should be as brief as possible. Again, this is what motivates our students. Also, it needs to be consistent, which means that reinforcement should be delivered on a consistent and predictable schedule. So every time the behavior occurs, or every 3 times the behavior occurs, is where you have to be consistent. And then lastly, number 3, contingency, is the reinforcer should be delivered only after the occurrence of the desired behavior.
Enclosed in the resource folder for this video, we have included some behavior management tools to help you build and shape the behaviors you are targeting. You will find these visuals will serve as a reminder of the desired behavior and will remind your child or student of what backup reinforcers, if any, they are working towards. So the parent plan includes backup reinforcers, so reinforcing desired behavior, such as rewards and praise, not reinforcing challenging behavior, so ignoring the problem behaviors, providing prompt follow through of the desired behavior.
And just some other considerations we want you to think about is to remember to consider some preliminary considerations. Please check that the work level is not too difficult and that they have the preliminary skill set to complete the requested behavior. You want to start at a point that is not at a frustration level. Discuss any plans on decreasing work with your child's teacher first. It is helpful to include the teacher and also share a system for reinforcement so the child's new behavior is being shaped in multiple settings. Involve your child in the plan and discuss when it begins, as well as the elements such as your reinforcement ideas, when they improve work completion, such as a tangible item or event reinforcer, so that they are aware. And when building or shaping a new behavior, you may need to have a heavy schedule of reinforcement just to really get it in so that the child understands. And the reinforcement schedule may need to be adjusted to build and generalize. And also, please remember that reinforcers may need to be adjusted when they become less motivating.
So we have included some free resources to serve you as you build increased work completion using negative reinforcement at home. These resources include positive and negative reinforcement and punishment visual, behavior management token board, homework contract, behavior chart, and 3 versions of a behavior contract.
You can also find more videos by searching the hashtag 3BLESD on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us for this presentation and have a great rest of your day.